Hey, this is Mark, and I've got yet another case of long screw damage. This is an iPhone 6 Plus, and this was sent in as no image, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's actually not booting because of the particular hole that it's in. This one typically causes no boot, which can be confused with no image. It's usually the other hole that causes no image. The easy way to tell whether it's no image or no boot is, does the computer detect it? All right. Let's see how bad it is tonight. I'm feeling optimistic, and that's why I didn't remove the CPU shield yet. Feeling like this one's going to be not so bad. All right, let's really see how spongy this is. Not spongy. Yeah, that's what I like. This may be one of those rare unicorns of a long screw damage where it's actually just the top layer of the board shorting lines beneath it. And one of these cases where it's not severed traces, but it's a line shorted to ground. It's interesting that these were what first helped me to realize the importance of the I2C data communications, or not so much the importance. Obviously data CPU talking to things is going to be important, but matching up some of the behavior, symptoms with that being the cause. I guess what I'm getting at in a roundabout way is that these phones will you'll see a lot when you're doing data recovery and stuff that that pull 70 milliamps when you prompt it to boot, and then just sit there and do nothing. And that always seemed like it was some sort of a data communication problem, but I had never narrowed that down to actually, what kind of lines cause that. And then this particular case of iPhone 6 Plus long screw damage came in, and after scraping back the top layer, it was just shorting lines to ground, and I could actually see that it was particularly just shorting one line to ground, and that happened to be one of the I2C data lines. So then I went, and this happened while I was in New York, I went and I pulled a few different devices that had similar symptoms that we had not been able to figure out yet, and just started solving all of these devices one after another by looking at what all is on these data communication lines and finding like liquid damaged resistors and stuff like that had been previously overlooked. So interesting story behind how long screw damage can lead to a more thorough understanding of how all the stuff works in the phone. So it looks like all my traces are okay here. It would really suck to find out that there's some other problem and the long screw damage was just incidental and not actually causing any damage. But we'll see. Maybe this is going to be a super easy and short one. Maybe. Where is my 6 plus battery? There it is. All right. Come on, Apple logo. Prompt to boot. Ooh, I wonder if that means my battery's dead or if it means there is some other problem. Hook up the DC power supply and give it another shot. One more try. Oh, gotta turn that camera back on. All right. It's not really doing anything when I prompt to boot with USB, so I'm going to try and prompt to boot with the power button now. And it's just sitting at like 90, 80, and it jumps up to 170 milliamps, and then back down to 70 milliamps, and then to 0. So that's kind of weird. All right. Let's look at the other holes. That one looks good, and that one looks good. So what's your problem, guy? Didn't look like you got damaged traces down there. Let's just lightly scrape away a little more, see if there's something I'm missing here. I don't even really see the impression of the screw through the top layer. Usually it puts a round dent in this layer. You got nothing. Let's see. What is diode mode? Diode mode seems good on all those guys. What could your problem be? Looks like somebody's been under this sticker before. What is the deal with this? Why is there black shit? Black shit on top of Mason under the sticker. Weird. Doesn't look like Mason's been replaced, so I'm going to guess that that's like remnants from some touch IC repair, some folded up electrical tape. In fact, I think I remember when I was disassembling one of these phones, I noticed the sticker had been removed and pulled a chunk of electrical tape out of there. That was probably this one. Okay, so I don't think my problem is here with the long screw damage, which makes the problem much more difficult. So now I've got to really start thinking about, like, what are the other common causes of a phone to not boot or have that kind of behavior, really low amp draw, which, you know, like I was mentioning earlier, those data communication lines, one of those being down could be the problem. So one of the things I'll do when I see this kind of behavior is to see if the phone will charge, and it is not charging. So that tells me probably I need to at least rule out Tristar. Maybe it's Tristar, maybe it isn't, but I need to rule that out before I start doing any more kind of deeper diagnostics and troubleshooting. So we're going to pull this shield off and do the old Tristar. And now the title for this video is wrong. It's no longer a long screw damage. Long screw damage was a red herring. It's something else. Okay, so now we can get to Tristar. Just peel some of this black apple poop away. I like to pick it away between these caps just so that I don't lift them when I'm lifting the chip. It's just a pain in the ass to have to put these little guys back when I can take a few seconds to avoid it. Okay. I would say right now, probably I would give it 90% chance that Tristar is going to solve this problem. But let's see. I know Tristar has some of those I2C communication lines. I think in this device it shares those lines with backlight driver and like Chestnut and something else, I think. PMIC, and I think there's one other guy on there. Can't remember. So, you know, if there's a problem with Tristar, it's not out of the question that Tristar could be pulling down those lines, or not even really pulling them down, but just causing like static in the line, like, you know, not allowing the communication of data by other chips. Or maybe CPU needs to hear a response from Tristar, and because he's not working, he's not responding. So the other chips say, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to do my job, and Tristar is just sitting there being quiet. And then CPU is like, oh, okay, well, Tristar didn't answer, so I'm not going to boot anymore. You know, just theories. I don't really know. Just guesses. But it seems to make sense. All right. Where are my Tristars? I got a loose one in here I need to use. Get you out. So I'm looking for Tristar to settle itself down on its pads, and then I'll give him just a little nudge just to make sure he's seated good. Alright, looks like he's down there. That was maybe a little more of a nudge than I wanted to do. But, you know, it's good to see that he didn't just snap back into place. That means that some of the balls under him are kind of muddy. They're not all fluid, which means it wasn't ready for me to take heat away, which is what I want to know, right? I'm nudging it so that I can see that it definitely shifts and goes right back into place. There, like that. So that tells me that all the balls under it are liquid. If one of them was not liquid and was still like a solid ball sitting on a pad, it would kind of create resistance so that the chip wouldn't shift back into place that quickly or at all. You know, like that first nudge. That showed me that some of the balls were melted, but not all of them. So without doing that, I could have easily said, oh, that's good enough, taken the heat away, and then gone to test, and you know, and then if it didn't work, maybe I wouldn't think that my Tristar placement was bad. Maybe I would start troubleshooting other problems. But now I'm pretty confident that that placement of Tristar was good. I will inspect from an angle and see, does it look like the balls are all uniform? And it does. I'm happy with that. So now let's see if it will boot. All right, so we're still pulling very low charging current, not 0 like before, but it's only pulling like 20 milliamps. Wait, am I looking at the right one? Let's see. Yeah, no, it is pulling 0, just like before. So, refusing to charge, refusing to boot. Let's see again what it does on DC power supply. Again, we're pulling like 90 milliamps, then up to like 150, 170, and then back down to 70, and then back to 0. So exact same behavior as before. So I suppose my next thought would be, because there is still a problem with charging, then either my nudge of Tristar was too much, or there could be a problem with Tigris, which also is on I2C communication lines, so that's another thing that I would rule out. I guess there's no other signs of any type of physical damage anywhere, so I feel like that's still probably the best course of action. So let's see. I guess even though I did just say that I was pretty confident with my placement of Tristar, I'm going to assume that what I did was not good enough and do that over again. And I suggest that to people a lot. And I practice what I preach. So, if there's any doubt that the chip you placed went on well, rule that out before you move on. Also, if you place a chip and now your problem isn't fixed and you've got new symptoms or a worse problem, like say you place Mason doing a touch IC job, and then you have like no image, but you have backlight after that. That's a pretty common one for people just getting into the board repair. You always want to assume that you did something wrong. So before you start troubleshooting why there's no image, pull your Mason back off and see if it actually works. And then in this case, before I go and replace Tigris, I'm going to place another touch IC or another Tristar because it went on a little bit wonky. It didn't go on perfectly, so I'm going to assume that I fucked up and at least rule that possibility out before moving on. There's no shame in that. Aw, damn. Got the flux on top of the chip and now I can't see the markings. Hate it when that happens. Oh, there we go. It was aligned just right. Get out of there. Cotton fiber. All right, let's see if you're going to go on a little bit better and probably still aren't going to solve the problem, but I will feel more confident going forward that we've definitely ruled Tristar out. Right now, it's maybe. It always takes so long for Tristar to settle on these. There we go. Yeah, just gave him a tiny nudge that time. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull out some Tigris. I'll be ready when this doesn't work. I mean, if this doesn't work. All right. So this time I'm just going to connect DC power supply, prompt to boot with the tweezers, and see what happens. Well, that's a little different. All right, let's hook up a screen and see what happens. That looked good that time. Nothing. I'm not fully convinced that this dock is still a known good dock. Let me swap that out. Still nothing. Okay, well, let's see. What do we get on DC power supply? Prompt to boot with the dock again. Ooh, there's a short as soon as I connect the dock. That is interesting. All right, disconnect the screen. Okay, is there any chance I picked something up off the table that could be causing a VCC main short? I don't see any trash, but that cap looks fucking black. That's probably just from my burned up board though. Alright, well, that is really strange that suddenly now we've got a short. Ooh, and it's that ugly looking cap that has just decided to be short out of nowhere. Let's confirm that with some freeze spray. It cooled off too fast. You know what? I'm just going to confirm it with the multimeter. Yeah, that guy's short. So he is coming off. Really odd that this cap just suddenly shorted out of nowhere. Alright, get rid of you now. No more short. Good. Alright. Let's go ahead and try with the battery again. Anything? No? Nothing? I am pulling normal charging current now, so that is a great sign. My battery could be dead, so I'll go ahead and swap over to DC power supply again. And let's prompt to boot again. Okay, well, now it looks like something happened on the screen. Backlight is super dim, but there is backlight. So I've got like backlight with no image. Camera's not really picking that up, but I definitely have backlight with no image. So this phone could be booting into like a fake DFU mode. Let's see if I get a dim backlight with no image with my battery. No, nothing. What voltage is this battery at? I'll go ahead and put my Tigris up. I think I'm going to need those. Trying to find a screen that I've already pulled backlight off of, but it doesn't look like I have one. So let's do it with this one. So I'm just pulling the, man, didn't mean to pull the entire strip of backlights. I meant to just pull the black off the back of it. Stick that back on a little. There we go. That'll probably still work. Just cut this off so it's easier to grab. There we go. All right. Give this another shot. Oh yeah, I wanted to see what voltage my battery is at. And this is turning into a lot more than a long screw job. Thought this was going to be easy. 3.9 volts. So that should be enough for this device to boot. So let's prompt over here again. There we go. Look, we've got full backlight now. If the camera picks that up. Battery disconnected. All right, this LCD was kind of smashed up. Yeah, it looked like LCD was damaged. So I'm going to move on to a third LCD. I'm not going to fuck around with its backlight. And what I'm wondering now is maybe my known good LCD is no longer a known good LCD. Maybe it's known bad now. Doesn't look like I'm getting anything here. Reseat the battery and give that one more try. All right. I'll grab this screen. This screen has no touch, but I definitely saw image working earlier today when I replaced the screen. Still getting nothing. All right, so that is kind of weird. So now I'm looking to see possibly there could have been some kind of tool damage to chestnut, which I don't see. All right, what about the 1.8 volt image filter that I believe lives right over here? Oh, he kind of looks like crap. Okay. Let's probe him and see what we have. So I'm going to do diode mode and probe the side of him that goes to the line. And I have 0.25, which is good. The side that goes to the connector, I have open line, so no beep across him. Beep, no beep. So he is definitely bad. And these are always fun. these little puzzles where it's like there's a whole list of things wrong with this device that I've got to go through and figure out. Like at first glance, hey little solder ball, what are you doing? Where'd you come from? I bet that came off of the end of him from overheating. But anyways, at first glance, it looked like this is, oh, long screw damage. Of course, I'll just fix the long screw damage. And then it's like, no, long screw damage is actually not that bad. So what else could the problem be? Maybe it's Tristar. Device isn't charging. Maybe it's Tristar. Okay, change Tristar. Device is charging now and appears to be booting, but it still has no image. So let's solve that too. Now, the way this truly is going to go is I'm going to get it to boot up and it's going to have image, but it's not going to have touch, because that is the way this repair is going. I can feel it. This is going to be a much longer stream than I had intended. I was thinking like maybe 15, 20 minutes. My little camera turns off every 30 minutes, so that's a good judge of how long this is taking. It's taken at least, I don't know, it's got to be like 40, 45 minutes now. That thing shut off pretty quick into the stream and then, or into the recording, and then did it the second time 30 minutes later. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're good now. So it's always good to know, you know, the common things that can cause all the various problems you might see. Like my first guess for no image when it appeared to be booting on DC power supply, my first guess was maybe tool damage to chestnut, but that was wrong. But my second guess was right. And there could be other things too. And there we go. We have image. All right. Now this is actually the LCD that I know for a fact has touch problems. So that one is going away. I'm going to get out my actual bona fide original, came off of an iPhone that had never been worked on LCD that is actually starting to get kind of worn. I think I may have messed the flex up on it a little bit. Sometimes I get these lines on this right side of the screen. So this one's on its last leg. But as far as I remember, the last time I used this LCD, touch worked. So hopefully touch will continue to work. There's the old iOS 11 blink that freaks you out the first time you see it. Press home to upgrade. No, I don't want to press home to upgrade. Damn it. That's anticlimactic. All right, let me get the original LCD. Let me get the one that has the home button on it. Why is that so dark on my camera? Like, I can totally see that screen, but the camera is not picking it up at all. That's really weird. Is it the polarizer? Like, if I turn it, yeah, you can see it when I turn it. Weird. So the polarizer on this junk screen must have been installed the wrong way or something. That's really weird. All right. Oh yeah, and I have the UV filter on the camera, so it's got a polarizer. Okay, that makes sense. All right, home to upgrade. All right, and we have touch. Perfect. Let's see if I can get that to pick up. Home to upgrade, touch, touch, touch. Good. All right, so that's another one done. The long screw damage that wasn't really long screw damage and was two other things. Fun. All right, thanks for watching and have a good one.